What is the difference between the stars in the star rating system, and why does a five-star hotel in Canada feel different from a five-star hotel in Tokyo or Germany, or the one just two streets away? Because they are different, but why? By the end of this video, you will never choose a hotel the same way again. Early hotel rating systems were created to help standardize expectations for travelers. Think early 20th century travel, when guidebooks needed a simple way to explain, does this place have a private bathroom? Can you even eat there? Travel guides and inspection programs were designed to support the growth of road travel by helping drivers know which hotels were clean, safe, and dependable. Similarly, stars and diamonds weren't about indulgence or emotion, they were about facilities. Before we get into the individual star breakdown, we need to understand the systems themselves. Because one of the main problems is that star rating systems are not global. Different organizations created their own systems. Some were private, like travel guides, others were government run. And what many travelers don't realize is how much these systems are driven by cultural norms and expectations. Let's start with the UK, because this is where many travelers assume consistency exists. In the United Kingdom, one of the most recognized rating systems is the Automobile Association, often called the AA. This system evaluates hotels as a complete package, focusing on overall quality, service standards, and physical facilities. At the lower end of the scale, one-star hotel under the AA system is required to provide basic functional service with minimum amenities and staffing. Reception might only be open during certain hours, breakfast has to be provided or arranged, and there needs to be a dining room in the hotel. Rooms must have an ensuite or private bathroom, which means that hostels would not even count as one star under this system. There's actually a separate classification for hostels and bed and breakfast that focuses on cleanliness and safety. Already, we can see that a one-star rating doesn't mean poor quality, it means basic provision of essential services. As we move to two-star, the focus becomes slightly more about comfort and consideration. You still may be staying in a budget or economy hotel, but the service becomes a bit more consistent, the facilities slightly more refined, and the overall experience a bit more thoughtful. But here's where things start to get interesting. Because if we compare a 1 and 2-star hotel in Tokyo to equivalents in Canada, we start to see how cultural expectations shape the guest experience. In Asia, there is a mix of national government standards, private classifications, and in some regions, no official rating system at all, meaning some hotels self-assign ratings. In Japan, there's no single government-mandated national hotel star system comparable to North America or Europe, particularly with ryokan, which operate outside Western star frameworks altogether. A typical Tokyo two-star room might be extremely small, but include a high-quality mattress and bedding. I know, that shocked me too. And a compact yet spotless private bathroom, excellent soundproofing, climate control, and meticulous cleanliness throughout. Guests often think, ooh, this is tiny, but everything works perfectly. Cleanliness is treated as a cultural baseline, not a luxury feature. In the United States and Canada, systems like the AAA Diamonds and Forbes Travel Guide dominate. Here, low star levels more literally reflect limited facilities, minimal service, fewer amenities, and shorter reception hours. A Canadian two-star hotel may offer a standard room size, basic furnishings, a private bathroom, and functional cleanliness that does the job, but isn't necessarily immaculate. Guests often think it's basic, but acceptable. So the same star level answers different questions in different cultures. In Tokyo, the emphasis might be on efficiency and precision. In Canada, the emphasis might be about adequacy. Both experiences are accurate, they're just measuring different priorities. Where a 2-star is comfortable, a 3-star AA hotel jumps to a full hotel experience. It must achieve a list of additional criteria like daily room service, well-maintained public areas, and dependable customer service. And this brings us to a fundamental realization. Star ratings do not measure how luxurious a hotel feels. They measure whether certain criteria are met. This becomes even more evident when we look at how luxury hotels are assessed globally, especially through systems like Forbes Travel Guide. Forbes is one of the most recognized independent global rating systems for high-end hotels, restaurants, and spas. Interestingly, Forbes does not rate anything below 3 stars because its primary focus is luxury. Unlike checklist-heavy systems, Forbes relies on anonymous inspectors and evaluates up to 900 objective criteria. But the weighting is very different. Approximately 70% of a hotel's score comes from service, and only about 25 to 30% comes from facilities. This is the single biggest distinction. Forbes is not just asking what a hotel has, it is asking how the experience is being delivered. A 3-star Forbes hotel is described as very good, but the service is often more procedural than deeply personalized. What Forbes focuses on at this level is consistency of service, efficiency, competence, cleanliness, and overall value relative to the price point. At 4 stars, Forbes describes hotels as exceptional. The difference from 3 stars is emotional intelligence in the service, not just better decor. This is where true luxury begins. You'll usually find upscale design, high-quality materials, elevated dining experiences, stronger concierge services, higher staff-to-guest ratios, and premium finishes in the rooms and bathrooms. But again, Forbes is not just looking at the marble or the thread count. Inspectors look for personalized service. This is like anticipatory service where needs are met before guests even have to ask. And compared to a 4-star AA hotel, we see the focus is on completeness of facilities, high room standards, dining availability, and overall quality of the property. At 5 stars, Forbes defines properties as outstanding or extraordinary. This is world-class hospitality, not just beautiful, but deeply personalized and intuitive. You'll often see exceptional architecture and interior design, ultra-luxury rooms and suites, destination-worthy fine dining, world-class spas and wellness facilities, along with those high staff-to-guest ratios. But the defining factor is intuitive service. Staff anticipate needs before guests voice them, interactions feel natural rather than scripted, and preferences are remembered and experiences tailored. Everything feels smooth, calm, and effortless. Guests feel known, valued, and uniquely cared for. Across Europe, many countries are harmonized under the Hotel Stars Union, which uses hundreds of objective criteria, including room size, amenities, and service quality. Yet countries like France, Italy, and Spain still operate under their own national systems, sometimes with stricter or culturally specific requirements. France even has a special palace designation above 5 stars for exceptional luxury properties. Here's another fascinating cultural difference that shows how the same star level can diverge internationally. Let's compare Spain and Germany at the 5-star level. Spain typically uses a government-regulated national star rating system managed at the regional level. The Spanish system focuses strongly on facilities, amenities, and the overall guest comfort experience. A 5-star room may qualify because it includes premium bedding, high-end toiletries, a mini bar, a large bathroom, and perhaps a balcony or view. Atmosphere and setting matter greatly here. Germany, by contrast, uses Hotel Stars Union system. The focus is on measurable, reliable criteria, including minimum room size thresholds, lighting quality, workspace provisions, and consistency across all room categories. There is less flexibility for properties that prioritize unique design or experiential luxury over strict structural requirements. As a result, 2 hotels can be both 5-star and feel completely different. At this point, you might be wondering something very practical. Can a hotel actually have different star ratings depending on the systems being used? The answer is yes. A single hotel can legitimately hold different star classifications at the same time because each organization evaluates hotels using its own criteria, weighting, and philosophy. For example, a hotel in London might be rated 5 stars by the AA based on facilities, service standards, and overall quality, while being rated 4 stars by Forbes Travel Guide if the inspectors feel the service is not sufficiently intuitive or personalized for the very top tier. Another question that often comes up is whether 6 or 7-star hotels actually exist. Technically, no. There is no official global rating system that awards 6 or 7 stars. What you may have heard about in particular are places like Dubai. The 7-star hotel is a marketing description rather than an official classification. Star ratings are a starting point, but they should never be the final decision. And that is exactly why full in-depth hotel tours can be so powerful. Hint, hint. They show you not just what a hotel provides, but what it feels like to stay there. So the next time you're choosing a hotel, don't just ask how many stars it has. Ask what kind of experience those stars are actually measuring. Because luxury isn't about stars. It is about how a place makes you feel.